Okay, we are at the 400 block of Prohib pieces for this sale, and most of them are 12.6 category, except for the first two. These are full 12.2 category Prohibs, and unfortunately most of you don't have that license, and neither do I. But that is a fully automatic, fully functioning, fully automatic license, so not too many of those on the planet anymore in Canada. So on the 1928 A1, so this is your kind of awesome gangster version with the drum mag if you wanted it. This has got a stick mag. Both of these, just full disclosure, were in the April auction. These actually come from a December 2019 state. Couldn't get them into that sale. We had them in April. They were purchased. And the reason I'm going to point this out is that when something comes back into a sale, especially if it was just in a sale, the bidding community assumes that there's shenanigans on the side of on the part of the auction company or the auctioneers, and we take a lot of pride in no shenanigans around here. So these were both bought by a bidder, Dean Berkeley, in both the U.S. and Canada. He's got, I think it's Canadian that moved to the U.S., BC/Washington, and swore by all the gods that even though he didn't have a license, he would pay for them. And then, but of course, he couldn't take delivery of them until they were either A, deactivated, dewadded, or he swore that he'd be able to get them imported. Anyhow, that's not the point. The point is that then he fell off the planet and doesn't return phone calls. So, which is not cool at all, obviously blacklisted. Blacklisted somebody this morning, and they're completely unrelated. I know most people aren't going to see this because they're not watching all of these videos, but because he wanted to cancel bids. It can't cancel bids. Because that means the underbidder is now all of a sudden on the hook for something. So, and it's a chain reaction. Now we got to phone 5 people. Hey, is it okay if you become the high bidder? Well, once they were outbid, they might have put their money somewhere else. So that's why you can't do it. So it's just if you bid, you're buying. So let's all play nice. Anyhow, these are fully functional. Granted, most of you do not have a license for it, and we understand that. There's a gunsmith in town here in Edmonton, Ryan Resling, who is licensed by the RCMP to do deactivations, and he does nice work. I've worked with him before, and he does great work. We'll put his phone number and stuff in the bottom. It's AR Machining and Gunsmithing, I think is the business name. This is the World War II version. Again, this is a fully functioning, fully automatic Tommy gun. So it's a shame that its days are numbered when you have something that's in that kind of condition and still operating. So anyhow, we'll maybe take this little snippet of that video and make it on its own, just to remind people you can't cancel your bids, and please pay for what you bid on. I'm not your babysitter. If you bid on something, you're an adult. I assume you're all adults bidding on this stuff. So pay your bills and lick your wounds if you screwed up. On 400 Delta, there is no Charlie in this lot. On the Delta, this is virtually brand new. On the little Mustang, it has been cycled, so we can play with it a little bit, but we don't have to beat it up. There's nothing much to talk about on that one, because it is virtually a new piece. On Echo, these are all Prohib by barrel length. In this case, some of them are going to be 32 caliber and barrel length, but they're all barrel length because they're less than the allowable. With the box, on the Python, 102 millimeter or 4-inch back in the day. And nothing much to talk about. It does have cylinder ring there, so we don't have to, feel bad about cycling it. It's functioning exactly how you would expect it to. Nothing to talk about there. That's weird. CZ, we're going to have to slow down a little bit because we got all these older pieces that do, they do. All we're trying to do is give you a pair of eyes and let you listen to things. You can see that this has got a nice snug fit to it. Everything's been cycled at least once or twice. Let me get that mag out of there. We'll be a bit graceful. There we go. I should just take the mags out when I start these things. Trigger functions nicely. And of course, you have to put the mag in there to do that. And so a nice piece there. No surprises. No surprises on that one. On this one here, on Gulf, on the FEG, nice lettering on it. It has obviously some wear. The wear is better seen in the pictures. Your cycling is nice. Everything fits nice and snug. You don't have anything loose. You don't have anything weird. Good positive engagement on hammer. Good positive disengagement. So nothing weird about that one there. On Hotel, What do we got here? Savage 1907. I like these ones. For those that haven't, some of the guys that are not necessarily collectors of these yet, it's not really a slide. It's like the whole mechanism. You don't have a slide going over top of an action. The whole action goes back with a hammer and everything. They're kind of fun that way. Normal amount of wear on this one. Normal amount of wear. The wear is what you can see in the picture. So yeah, you do have some wearing on it, holster wear and whatnot, but otherwise functioning quite nicely. They are a stiff one to cock by hand, but it functions quite nicely. So no surprises there. This one has obviously been refinished. 400 Juliet on the 1908. I'm sure that there is a little bit of pitting underneath there. It got all polished up. And then somebody decided to, do that and refinish it. It's a fun little bling piece. I mean, you can even see the dissimilar metals probably from the finish on top of this, which could be, it could be chrome, I don't know, reacting with a steel pin there. So you're getting a little bit of, literally a little bit of corrosion there to go along with it. Mechanically, it actually still seems to, and I think it must have got some use after being refinished, because I'm pretty sure that wear there is your finger on the trigger. So it got enough to discolor that. So again, it's kind of a bling piece. It's kind of fun. 400 kilo MAB and the lanyard ring. This is the one, and again, in the description, it'll already say that grip is cracked. Right there, the screw is. The piece is intact, but it's not intact. It's included. It's there. But it is cracked. So discoloring, finish is turning nice brown. It's got a nice patina to it, but mechanically it feels everything's nice and snug together. Definitely nothing mechanically to worry about on that one. On Mike, this MAB is a little less sexy inside, and we'll get to that in a minute. Even the lettering, you can compare the two. I'm not sure if the camera will do us justice on this here. But you see the one that we're discussing is this one right here, and how less visible the engraving is, the stamped letters and so on. And I think it's just been lots of polishing, maybe lots of holster wear, if it's even possible to get that much holster wear, but definitely has more wear in there. And internally, things are moving too far. Truthfully, the hammer doesn't even fall. I can't tell if it's properly engaging or if it's engaged and not disengaging properly, but definitely this is a bit of a project. It's probably complete inside, but there's definitely something that you need to address on that one. So if you're looking for premium, kilo is a lot. If you're looking to have a little bit of fun fixing something, Mike is the lot. 400 November on the 1903 hammerless. Nothing too weird on here. The pictures, of course, will show you the surface, because there is some pitting and some wear on this one, holster wear and whatnot. But mechanically, nice. Feels good. Everything operates nicely. Safety operates nicely. Hammer's been dropped a few times previous, but I don't need to overdo that, so you can just sort of take my word on that one. So mechanically, we like this one. And a little bit of finish concerns on that one. On another Savage, and this one is in good shape. It's got quite a bit better finish on it still. Mechanically, there is nothing to worry about. This one is, it's not like we've fired them. Don't get me wrong. It's not like it's going to be 100% reliable if you went and put 100 rounds through it. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it feels nice. Everything seems to lock up and release quite nicely. No concerns with safeties and all that sort of thing. So we do like this one quite a bit. What are we at? Quebec here on the Mauser 1910. These ones are a little bit fiddly when you're handling them, especially without ammo. When they have ammo in them, they're easier to work with. But nice crisp lettering, semi-smooth grips. There was checkering in there, but that checkering being worn. This checkering is so faint that right out of when they're new that it doesn't take much to make them appear almost flat. So cycling wise, they are a little awkward to work with when you don't have ammo in them. But I will probably, if you owned it enough, you would have a bit more luck with it. But it does lock back. You have to put the mag back in to release it, the slide and so on. But it feels nice. It really does feel nice when you're operating it. So again, it's just a little awkward because of the fact that you're kind of doing this. I'm trying to do it for camera. It'd be easier if the camera was tied to my head, but it doesn't work that way. So anyhow, nice little piece there. On Romeo Savage again, this has got a different style of hammer. You'll notice that the other ones, where we had kind of a spurred hammer, and then this one has quite more pronounced protruding hammer. So different version of a similar design. But again, mechanically feels very nice on this one. Reasonable amount of holster wear or pocket wear on it. Probably saw real usage. Nice grips on it. And everything feels very nice on this one. So you could buy that one with confidence mechanically as well. On the Walther 4, this one's more tired. Not going to deny that. We'll get into the mechanics in a second. More wear. There's pitting up top of there. And it's seen a little bit more life. Most of the time, pitting and so on is strictly from storage, as you guys all know that. And we've all been guilty of making a little mistake, going home. I don't hunt. But I've seen a lot of hunting pieces that end up back at the ranch, and I'll clean it up later on, and a little tiny time of moisture in a case, and next thing you know, you've got surface rust. You let that sit for a couple of weeks, and it turns into a problem. So, but mechanically, it's reasonable. I'm not going to say it's premium. It's reasonable, and I have pulled the trigger on it. I'm not going to do it right now, but mechanically, I'm going to call it, if there's such a thing as 6 out of 10, I'm going to call it 6 out of 10. The finish you can pretty much see for yourself. I'm not going to get into the habit of calling it out of something, because I think that's a slippery slope, but just want to get the point on that one. On Tango and Little Ruby, most of the bluing is worn on this one. So you got some nice gray patina on there. You see matching serial numbers, top and bottom there. Checkered grips. Mechanically feels snug. Do like that one. Safety's there, lanyard ring. Mag slides in and out quite nicely. The mag is stamped AK on there, if that matters. So mechanically, you've got a pretty decent little piece. There's nothing weird. You're not going to get it home and have any surprises. Sauer & Son 1913 kind of looks more like a space gun than a gun, than a little pistol. So these are kind of fun. It has exactly the finish concerns that you would see in the pictures. But mechanically, above average considering the age and so on. There's no surprises on it, is what I'm trying to say on that one. And that's all I'm trying to say. Just let you listen and see a little bit through my eyes. But even if you were here in the building, it's not like you'd be able to sit there and dry fire everything and take it out to the range and shoot it. That's never allowed anyhow. But we're just trying to give you a little more insight as to what we're working or what you're bidding on. 400 Victor, 1910 Mauser. Now we've got a missing screw there. We've got a missing mag. I'll better check the listing, make sure that we mention that. Holster wear and so on it. There's nothing weird, and I'm going to dry fire this one because I don't remember doing it. It's good-ish. Again, I would probably, were I buying this one, it would be one of those that you would get into the workshop, which I love doing, and get it all apart and do a little bit of fix-ups. Try to find a proper-looking screw for that one if you don't have one in your parts kits, and put it back into, crisp it up a little bit more. So this is a minor project. Only minor. On Whiskey, on the FN, good finish on this one. It's exactly the type of wear you like to see as far as genuine holster wear, right at those fronts and those highs. So that's character. That's what that is. I know when I was younger, when I was in my 20s and my teens, I used to fix things, refinish them. And of course, I look back now and I think of the damage I did to some nice Winchesters and so on over the years. Mechanically, this is a really nice piece, nice and snug. And you got the lanyard ring, the mag comes in and out nicely. Nothing weird there. So I'm really, really pleased with this one as far as mechanically goes. So this has got everything going for it. X-ray, a little bit more use on this one for sure on the Mauser. And this is 102 millimeters, so that's why we're into that Prohib, which is heartbreaking. So this is a what you see is what you get. Mechanically, you still have all the normal movements that you would expect to see out of it. Nothing weird. I'm going to drop the hammer on it. There we go. It engages nicely. It drops nicely. So this is what you see is what you get. It's definitely had some miles put on it, and but it all seems to be a nice solid. This would be a good fun range toy, and it deserves a little bit of attention as far as getting it apart, cleaned, and inspected and whatnot. But mechanically, the mechanics are exactly what you would expect when you look at that finish. On Yankee 1903 pocket hammerless, no finish left on this one. You know, to the point where you have to think it was cleaned off of it because it's not even in the crevices. You know, right up against the grip, there's still some, you know, it's not as polished off. But one has to assume that somebody came along and polished the bejeebers out of it. But mechanically, still feels snug. Safety engages. I'm going to dry fire this one for you. Feels good. I don't have any issues on that one. And so, again, it would just be good fun. I wouldn't go overboard. You could even, I guess, technically refinish a piece like that. Okay. I think we had the camera stop on us there, so I'll just start over on this one. On Zulu, this is the last one in this series. This thing is absolutely beautiful, both the finish and mechanically. This is a cream piece. You do have a crack through the grip there, and I don't even think it carries on all the way. It just sort of hits that screw. So that's a bit of a thing, but you know, and you do have some, you're always going to have a little bit of handling marks and whatever. You don't get to be this old and not have, but mechanically and visually, this is a really nice piece. So this is a 32 caliber, so this is a Prohib twice. But if you have that license, then so be it. And this is one that you're going to be proud of to own. There was one that I wanted to mention that I must have missed somehow, because just as I was setting up to do this video, I was reminded of one that is basically good. I had a warped set of grips. Now I'm getting probably a little ahead of myself. This one here. This is a uniform. So on this little piece here, the grips, there's nothing really wrong with them, but because they are a natural substance, they are prone to warping. And so you can see, possibly in the camera, that this one is warped a little bit. So I know now I'm getting nitpicky, but, and sometimes not nitpicky enough or whatever. So just trying to let you guys see through my eyes is all I'm doing. Okay, so we're going to get these put away and gather up another batch and do some more filming.